It's time for another shoe review, and in today's episode, the Nano X will be put to the test. Alright guys, welcome back to the Coffee with Coach podcast. As you can see behind me, we've been busy working trying to build out a brand new podcast studio for you guys. And to answer your question, yes, I am currently wearing one shoe, but let's go ahead and get into the review. I'm going to rant for 1 second, then we're going to do the review. So the rant, I got on YouTube and checked out a bunch of reviews just to see what everyone else was saying about this. And I can only find things that were said about 2 months ago. This shoe came out 2 months ago, which means you finally got this shoe in the mail, opened it up, looked at it, and gave a full review as to how this shoe will perform, and that is very misleading. So today, I tell you, after wearing this shoe for over 100 workouts, I am currently working out twice a day because I'm doing a 75 hard challenge, so half of my workouts are outside, half of them are inside, and I can tell you from experience everything about this shoe and how it performs, all right? So, we're gonna go ahead and start off with the pros. Obviously, with the pros, just by looking at it, this looks like a shoe athletes will wear. Unlike the Nanos all the way up through the 9, the shoes aren't very good looking. They don't look very stylish and sporty. This shoe takes it to a whole nother level. This raised heel was the only thing I was kind of worried about, but it looks cool. I'm like, okay, maybe they changed it up a whole bunch. We can try and get a good little shoe for everything that we need to do in the gym and outside of the gym. So Reebok basically always has a wider toe box. A lot of people like this, a lot of people hate this. I feel like they kind of met in the middle with this. It's not as wide in my opinion as they usually have it, but it's still wide enough for some people who have the wider feet to jump into them. So this is probably my favorite part here. The sock liner, this little booty thing in here. It is very nice. It hugs your heel and it allows you to have good stability when you're twisting, when you're turning, when you're jumping. It hugs your heel as long as you tie your shoes. I don't tie my shoes very often, I will say that. I only tie them if I am running. So this is as tight as they get. I can slip them on and slip them off unless I'm doing something crazy in the gym. This is probably the biggest thing for me is when I'm doing double unders, previous shoelaces always come untied. I have not had any trouble with these shoelaces coming untied, and these are finally up to par for that part. The flexibility in it, you do have some flexibility, but obviously you can see the midsole allows for stability in your lifting. And how is that possible? There is this separate pattern right here. So the midsole changes a little bit through there, and I thought maybe they would make it a little bit softer, but it's still really nice, very firm, and it has the cushion that you actually need for the shock absorbing of weightlifting, jumping, sprinting, anything like that. And this thing suctions to the floor. In my opinion, it is flat. The first time I put them on, your foot will not move against a floor. It is very sticky. It's like they use those shoes that you wear in restaurants, the non-slip shoes. I feel like this came up with some of that. But the other pros in this, like I said, I've done about 100 or so workouts in this. I'm outdoors running. I've been doing sprints. I've been weightlifting. I have put squats and deadlifts to the test, and this shoe has definitely held up. I have only 2 complaints about this shoe, which I'll get into here in a second, but this shoe, in my opinion, has been fully redesigned to meet the needs of the person who is doing cross training. So the cons now, we're going to be getting into the cons. This shoe only has 2 of them, and in my opinion, it's probably 1 because I may just have weird feet. I don't know. This side right here, this little half back all the way to the end, the sock liner, like I said, I love it, but it's Oklahoma and it is like plush and it is very thick. There's no breathability in the heel at all. So in Oklahoma right now, it's over 100 degrees. Half my workouts are outside, which means my feet are sweating, and you can definitely feel the heat on your feet, except for the front, which is a great little mesh. It's got that like weave that you're pretty specific with in the Nano realm. Then they have these little brand new patterns, the tiny X's. I actually really like that. They put a lot of detail into the X and the Nano X and all that stuff, but that is a very small thing. If you want sweaty feet, that's the thing. So the second con that I've came up with is, yes, we do have the wider toe box. However, I feel like they have either squished it or flattened the top side here. And this is only on my right foot. Let me remind you that. It is only on my right foot, but I have gone through about 12 pairs of socks because it is wearing holes on it. And I don't know if this is because I walk funny, but I've never had this trouble. It is rubbing against the top side of this part of the toe box, and it puts holes in my socks. And so for the past probably month, I've gone through about 12 pairs of socks, and I, like I said, am doing a lot of outdoor workouts. These shoes have had at least 2 miles a day on them. So if you think about that, that's probably pretty close to about 60 miles on that in the past month. Maybe that's just the whole thing. But those are the only 2 cons that I can come up with this shoe. Obviously, it is the perfect shoe for anybody when you want to do cross training, when you're wanting to do something like weightlifting or running short distances, or if you're going to be jumping, or if you're just walking around town and you want to look and feel good. This is the shoe for you. Now, if you're an athlete competing, obviously you're going to wear this shoe, but you're going to know when to change your shoes out. If you're the everyday average Joe in the gym, this shoe is basically the one-stop shop because you have the stability, not so much as a lifter, but you can feel the difference in this shoe and it can become your lifter. I currently do not wear lifters at all because I wanted to use the Nano and try and figure out and see if I actually had any differences in it. Also, Rich Froning has said before that he wants to be prepared for his weightlifting meets if anything came up. You can't be prepared to change your shoes in that short of a amount of time. So I tried to live by that motto for a little bit, and it worked. So I have done all my snatches, my cleans, my squats, my deadlifts, anything and everything that I have done with a barbell or dumbbells has been done in these shoes, and I highly recommend it for anyone who is the average Joe lifter, gym goer, and athlete who's doing competitive sports. All right, guys, that is it for this episode of Coffee with Coach. If you enjoyed this content, hit that like and subscribe button. That lets us know that you are actually watching and enjoy what we're doing. Also, if you want to pick up a pair of the Nano X's, there's a link in the description. It takes you to Amazon. They're about $130. All the colors are there. You can buy them pretty much anywhere on the internet, but if you click below, it helps support the Jamology Fitness channel, and we can continue to bring you great content that way. So I hope you guys have an incredible day, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.